Hi, everyone. My name is Olivia. I lead a team of data scientists here at Stitch Fix, focus on using data and technology to deliver a personalized online shopping and styling experience. So today, I am so honored and glad to be at the NLP Summit to share with you all how we use natural language processing and language models in styling personalization. And so before I dive into the very interesting technical part of the language models, I want to first give a brief introduction of our Stitch Fix business to set the stage. Um, so at Stitch Fix, like I mentioned, we provide personalized styling service to everyone. That means that we carry apparels for women's, men's, kids, a wide range of sizes, and more than thousands of brands. And at its core, we use both expert stylists and data science to transform the way people find what they love. So that means that we're not only personalize the style of clothes that we present to individual customers, we also offer them different ways of shopping with us, as we recognize that customers prefer different ways of shopping for different occasions, which I will dive deeper in later slides. And so let me use the timeline of a customer journey with us to help better explain how it actually works at Stitch Fix. And it would also provide some context around where we get a lot of very interesting language and text related data. So when the new customers join us, they will first create their style profile, which tells us their sizes, their fits, and what they may need and their style preferences. And then from there, like I mentioned earlier, they can choose to get a box of curated items handpicked by our stylist, which is called a fix, or they can shop freestyle, which is come to our site and we provide a personalized shopping mall for you as a customer. Regardless which path you choose, you order something, and then we send it to you. You can keep what you like, try them out, and send back the rest that you may not like. And then when you check out, we also ask you to provide feedback to us on the items and on your entire experience. And this is where it gets really interesting, because then, like, our algorithms and our stylists will be able to use this feedback to continue learn more about you as individual customers and provide better and more accurate and more compelling personalized option for you in your future interactions with us. And so let me dive into the details of each one of them. So like I mentioned earlier, for the style profile, we have sort of like a question, a survey type of questionnaire where we ask various types of questions to get better understanding of your numerical sizes, your fit, which is very important for pants and jeans, and your style preferences. Um, and then the difference between fixed and freestyle, as I mentioned, uh, people can either choose to partner with our stylist to get 5 hand-picked items, or they can come to our site and just explore all the inventories we have and find what they love directly without being overwhelmed by tons of informations and endless scrolling. So that's what we aspire to provide and to serve our customers. So a critical component of our value proposition of personalization is the feedback loop we build with our customers. So we made it super easy for customers to share with us their needs and their feedback across multiple touch points that could happen before or during or after their shopping. And so as you can see an example on the right-hand side, part of this feedback collection is structural, but part of it is free form. So for instance, we have the request notes on the right, and also the feedback session on the bottoms, because we want to enable customers to better communicate the nuances in fashion with us. And this experience of providing feedback is also very compelling to the customer, because the more they share with us, the more we can tailor Stitch Fix to their individual needs in the future. And so I think they understand that and are also very eager to like share with them what they think. And through that, we gather huge volume of text data that our business relies on. So, with the gold mine of text data, the important question that we consider next is, how do we then leverage this wonderful data to empower our stylist, uh, especially at scale across millions of customers that we serve and millions of products we have. And there are a few places that would really harvest the value of this text data that I will spend the rest of my presentation going into. So first and foremost, we definitely want to make sure that we fully understand um, the feedback that our customer provide to us, so that we capture that we capture their needs and we honor those needs. Second, we want to be able to better help clients find what they love through a more personalized search experience in Freestyle. And the last one is that not only do we want to understand what the customer is telling us, we also want to be able to communicate fashion and styles to them in a way that really resonate and do that at scale. So let me take you through each one of them on what we actually do. Like I mentioned earlier, often our clients send us a request notes telling us what they want before they schedule a box of fix, or they leave us a feedback about the items they receive, whether it's a positive feedback or negative feedback. So on the right of the page, you guys can see some of these examples. And these interactions provide us very rich and actionable feedback to fuel our ability to adapt to the rapidly changing client trends. So that means, like, when stylists are preparing a fix for a client, they will read through all these and take into consideration the content of these notes. However, as you can imagine, this task can become very time consuming and error prone, because just imagine um, having to analyzing hundreds of comments and fixed notes and written feedback from a loyal client who has been with us for years. That's a high volume of content to go through. And so this is an area where language model can really help to understand human language at scale and to set up our style list for success with this data insight. So what exactly do we do? So we leverage the language model to parse all these text-based request notes, client feedback, to extract product characteristics. We also understand client preferences. And what makes this problem very interesting and challenging is to understand the semantics behind human languages. So, for instance, you can see one of the feedback we may get is like on the lower right here, where customers said they love this skirt. The deal breaker was that it did not have pockets. And so our model needs to understand, like, okay, pockets is actually not an attribute of the skirt, but rather a preference for this particular customer. And so once we abstract all those insights into a more structured data, then we can incorporate them into our recommendation systems, meaning that we only show customers items that fits with their sizes, with their styles, or show them more on the top for our stylists to pick from. Um, And we may also use service this information to our stylist and to our merch buyer, because they provide, in aggregate, a very good insight into sort of like fashion trend and fast changing customer needs. Lastly, one thing I want to mention is that, like, our stylist is very essential in this work, in terms of like actually helping us build up this language algorithms. And one thing we build is this feedback loop that we have with our stylists, so they can continue to provide us um, information about whether our algorithms are understanding these languages accurately, and anything we need to change, and do it in a continuous way that not only improve our algorithms, but also continue to improve our customer experience. All right. The second area that I mentioned earlier, where we benefit a lot from the language model, is in how we use it for search, and using search to empower our customer to discover items and get inspirations in freestyle. So often, like sometimes shoppers may start their styling journey with us, not necessarily by like wanting a stylist to work with them in one-on-one, but rather they may come with us with a specific need in mind, whether it's dressing for an event or occasion, or they want to feel a certain way or looking for a piece that really match with an items in their wardrobe. um, I'm sure you'll have this experience. You go to any of your favorite brand website, and you will just shower with tons of inventories that they have, and it could become very intimidating and actually time consuming to actually find the items that actually meets with your need. And so, what we want to build is a more personalized search experience, so that we can help customers easily find what they're looking for without scrolling through tens and more than 10 pages, or keep refining their search queries. So how do we actually get that? So as I'm sure a lot of you can easily imagine, the most basic search works by matching the search query against the product attributes that humans have already labeled for each piece of inventory. Now, obviously, the success of this is highly depends on whether the shopper and the labeler sort of like speak the same language. And we know that more often than not, they don't 100% align, because just a lot of nuances in language. And so, one thing we benefit from, first of all, is that product characteristic that we harvested from the customer feedback and stylist notes that I mentioned earlier, because it really enriched the product attribute data pool that we can match the search queries against. The second breakthrough we made is that search to do a personalized search. That means like we don't want the result to only based on the relevancy to the query, but they also are curated by our real-time personalization platform, meaning that we can filter the results down to only showing customers items that match our real-time understanding of their individual personalized style preferences, their fits and sizes. And so that means like not no two sets of search results in Freestar are the same. Now, by contrast, um, relevancy means that we have to return results that are most aligned with the client query. And so there is an inherent tension between these two polarity, and we will need to um, continue to test and learn the best approaches to balance between these two, so that we provide the best customer experience. Another interesting thing we're trying is to use vector search, meaning that instead of doing sort of like a hard coded like matching against product attributes, we want to be able to we want to translate search text into latent vector space, so that we can better match it with the customer style preferences that we have already also mapped into the same latent style space. So why do we want to do that? Because this will then enable us to do more exploratory searches for themes or occasions, such as coastal grandma or beach week, in comparison to more traditional navigational searches like blue dresses that can be more easily projected onto the merch attributes. Um, Lastly, I want to mention that people also want to directly search for a piece that they have seen in a picture. And so we are also exploring ways that can enable our customers to, say, take a pictures or upload an image of their favorite items and directly search for items that match this visual image, or any other items that can go really well with it as an outfit. All right. So in the last few slides, I have mainly talked about how we understand what the customer is trying to communicate with us, right? And another very important element in the language application at Stitch Fix is to help us figure out how do we communicate fashion to our customers in the most compelling way at scale. And so we're talking about, places like advertisement to blog post to descriptions of our products, or even styling tips. Because language is just really good at communicating fashion in a way that resonates with our customers. And so this by itself is already a very interesting problems. What makes it more challenging is that like, we carry millions of products, and we also have millions of customers whom we want to tailor our communication to. And so in some of those cases, we really can leverage the help of NLP to programmatically generate content at scale. And so what I'm showing here in these slides is on the left-hand side, you can see it's a representation of how we already leverage our rich data set from the request notes and client feedback to map a lot of style keywords into a latent space, a latent vector space, like I mentioned earlier. And then using this, along with some of the latest technology like GPT-3, then we're able to generate text content, like a very catchy title for an outfit image that we put in a digital ads, like show on the upper right, or for a very compelling description of a product, as an example I show in the lower right. And across all these efforts, our stylists have been wonderful partners in this journey to help us seed some examples into GPT-3 or gatekeeping the quality of the machine generated output. So I think the secret sauce to our success in this domain truly is figuring out the best way to combine human talents and machine power, so that like they create like compounding effect that it's become essential to our success. All right, I hope by this time you're not satisfied with what I've presented to you so far, because we're not. There are just more ways that we can empower our stylists with natural language processing and other language model to serve our customer better. And so here I'm just going to share with you a few of them, but they may not cover everything we're trying. So first of all, we are thinking about a deeper personalization in some of those customer-facing content, because we have lots of data about all our products, from vendor information, styling tips, feedback from previous customers that our customers will really appreciate. However, we definitely want to be mindful not to overwhelm people with information overload. And so some smart usage of language model can allow us to personalize what we show to different customers based on their needs and preferences. So for instance, like I myself care deeply about the quality and feel of clothes. So I want to see more information about the fabric. Another area we're exploring is on user-generated content. Our customers, crave for more interactions with our stylists in real time and with other fellow customers. They want to be able to share their fashion moments with the community. And so language technologies will help us set up our stylists for success in these occasions where we do need to understand and respond to our customers in real time. Which then brings me to the last but not the least exploration we're doing. So we know some customers are visual thinkers, and some are verbal thinkers. And we want to be able to serve both of them right. And so with GPT-3 and some new technologies like DALL-E, we are exploring ways to provide the best experience to both of them, with a seamless and sort of like a two-way translation between the words and the image back and forth, so that their needs are well taken care of. So that is everything that we have to discuss at this NLP Summit. So thank you so much for all of your attention. And we're really excited on our continuous exploration and journey in the language processing domain, and looking forward to share with you guys more in the near future.